say in the most simplest terms that AI.
Early morning, start the day. Tuning in from far away. Voices zooming coast to coast. Central middle, we the host. Topics wild and voices bold. Stories new and tales of old. Every student got a say. Every idea on display. Podcasts bringing us together. Any place, no matter weather. From the east to the west. Central middle, we the best.
Okay. Welcome to the Central Middle School Podcast. Today we have a very special collaborative episode featuring the Central Middle School Tech Team, Central Middle School Avid students, and Central High School Tech Team students. Our Central Middle School Tech Team will be handling all the technical aspects of this event, ensuring everything runs smoothly. Meanwhile, our Avid students for Central Middle School and our guests for Central High School will be asking questions to our esteemed guests. We are honored to welcome Dr. Latonia Collins Smith, President of the Harris, Adriele Johnson, a proud alumni of Central High School class of 2020 and Harris-Stowe State University class of 2024. Stay tuned for an engaging and insightful discussion. Let's get started. Okay.
So you can ask who you'd like to see questions to. If you want Central High to start with their questions,
Central High, if y'all want to start with your questions, y'all can go ahead.
My name is Jariel Harris from Central High School, and I was wondering, Miss Johnson, how was it like graduating during COVID?
Graduating during COVID was really exciting, but it was also a lot of pressure. Just having to deal with just not being in school for that span of time and having to apply for colleges, send off, resumes and just get accepted into colleges. So it was really it was exciting, I would say, and difficult and exciting because I was excited to go to college. Like I was so excited. I couldn't wait to get to Harris-Stowe. I had went on college tours prior in 2019 and I saw Harris-Stowe and I was like, this is the school I'm going to. And so it was exciting for me. And then it was just difficult because it was a hard time for everyone. Like the world was basically shut down. And there was a lot of things that were going on, people were, dying and everything, and condolences to all those people that passed. It was a tough time for everyone. So it was just really difficult but it was exciting at the same time.
Would you have preferred to actually be in school instead of online when you graduated?
Absolutely, absolutely. Class of 2020, we are still heartbroken because we did not get a prom. We got a graduation, but it wasn't until June that we got a graduation. It was heartbreaking. You work 12 years to graduate and walk across the stage with this accomplishment, and you don't get it. Or if you do get it, it's delayed. So absolutely, I would have absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Miss Smith, what inspired you to become the president of an HBCU?
Okay. Well, good morning again. It was my students who inspired me to become a president. Being a president is my second career. I was previously a social worker and public health practitioner in the St. Louis region for about 21 years prior to coming to Harris-Stowe. And when I came to Harris-Stowe, I came and I was only supposed to be here 9 months. I didn't set out to become a president. I set out to work on a college campus and to be able to help our students. And it just evolved. So from one position to the next, and really just applying myself and being open to new things and learning different aspects of the college community. And another degree later, I became the president.
Okay. Can you Can you share your own college experience and how it shaped your career?
Absolutely. So I am a proud graduate of the University of Central Missouri in Warrensburg, Missouri. Go Mules, go Mules, where your very own Miss Cook and I were classmates, and we attended UCM together. My college experience was one of which it really changed my life. I came from North St. Louis. Um, in the city of St. Louis, and going to college actually changed my life. It gave me the opportunity to meet friends of a lifetime, people that I would have never met had I not gone attended the University of Central Missouri. I also say that going to college helped shape who I am today. It also created a foundation. A lot of the things that we implement here at Harris-Stowe under my leadership is based upon my experience and things that I learned or things that I actually participated in when I was away at college.
Um, how do HBCUs contribute to the success and empowerment of Black students?
Okay. So, Adriele, you want to talk a little bit about that? Because I could definitely jump in, but I think it would be great for you to share your experience.
Uh-huh.
So I'll let you do that.
Okay. Is there a way I can answer the questions Miss Collins just answered about my college experience and how it has shaped my okay. Basically I'm all for college, all for it. You know, if you don't do college, you can do a trade. But honestly, college changed my life. I was extremely excited to go to college. You know, I went to Central High School. I lived in Kansas City. I'm from Kansas City. So I know the environment that I grew up in. And you know, when I was a freshman in high school, I remember sitting next to my classmates and the administrator said that a lot of you will not make it, and that really affected how I felt because I looked next to my friend or next to somebody that was sitting next to me, and I wouldn't know if they were going to make it the next 4 years of high school. So that stuck to me, and I knew that I had to have a plan. When you are in high school or middle school, you have to have a plan. You have to set yourself up for success. You got to utilize your resources. There's people's. I had a college advisor, Bria Douglas. She was my college advisor when I was in high school. She helps me throughout the whole process. Shout out to her. You know, Central, what was so good about Central is Central had so many resources for me. You know, a first generation college student. That means a lot. That holds a lot of pressure. So when I went to, you know, when I decided that I wanted to go to Harris-Stowe, I made it my plan and I did it. And I graduated in 4 years. I did what I had to do to make sure that I graduated, you know. So I just want to put that out there that you can do whatever you put your mind to, and you just got to do the work. That's what it is. That's what it is. And so with with my experience at Harry Stowe, first of all, I knew I wanted to go to HBCU. Okay, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I just knew. You know, I love my people. So I knew, and I went to a predominantly Black high school, so I wanted to go to a predominantly Black college. I love the culture. You know, I love the food. I love the people. You know, I love the D9 organizations, the Greek life. I like the opportunities that were there. I like the fact that I had professors who actually care whether or not if I succeeded or not. Absolutely cared if I made it, you know. Um, I had a professor, Dr. Brendan McKenzie. I'm gonna shout him out. I'm a psych major with a minor in sociology. He was one of my absolute best professors. You know, I had some really good ones, but he was my absolute best. He seen that I wasn't doing as well as I normally do. He pulled me aside and he asked me, he said, "Hey, Johnson," he would call me by my last name. You know, what's going on? How can I help? How can I help you succeed? My experience at Harris, though, I had professors who cared, who wanted to see me graduate, who contributed to that. So my college experience at Harris, though, really shaped a lot. And it actually what really convinced me to stay in St. Louis because I'm not from St. Louis, but you know, I've been here for almost 5 years since I came to college here. And I've seen so much, I've experienced so much. It's an absolute amazing experience. I I'm actually glad that I'm on this podcast. I'm glad that you all brought me on this podcast. I've been wanting to talk to like central middle students and central um, high students about my college experience because it has really shaped my life for sure in so many different ways. So that's how my college experience was. I can yap on all day about that, but it was absolutely the best decision I could have ever made in my whole entire life, and I stand by that.
And so so I'll piggyback. I wanted her to share her experience. And thank you, by the way, because that is what we set out to do. One of the best things about an HBCU and even about Harris-Stowe, we work really hard to create this community and family environment so that we're an extension of your home and making sure that you're taken care of both inside and outside the classroom. That is really important for us. That is important for me as a leader, to make sure that you are exposed to all of the possibilities that come with having a college degree.
Central High, if you have any questions, you can ask them now.
Ms. Johnson, what was your job like? What's your career currently?
So I am currently I work at it's right here on my shirt, but I work at Brighter Futures ABA. It's the ABA clinic. ABA is the applied behavior analysis. So I work with children on the spectrum of autism between the ages of 2 and 6. And so I'm a registered behavior technician. And so that's what I spend into my career. I plan to pursue my master's in ABA and just further my education. So I work with kids on the spectrum of autism and just help them navigate behaviors, get them prepared for when they step out and start going to school. I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. I love my kids so much. And so that's what I took my psych degree. I majored in psych with a minor in sociology, and I took my bachelor's degree and started working with kids on the spectrum of autism. My absolute favorite thing to do.
My name is Keon Lucas, and I have a question for you, Ms. Smith. How does it feel to be the first woman president of the university?
So I would say I get asked this question all the time. It is an amazing feeling. Like I said, this was not something that I set out to do. This was not definitely on my bucket list. And a person like me, coming from where I came from, I don't even think that we even think about the possibility of being a college president. It
Hmm.
is an amazing experience. It comes with much responsibility, and it is an experience that I don't take lightly. And I realize when I say a lot of responsibility that it is my responsibility. I take it personally. It is my responsibility to make sure, while I may be the first, it is my responsibility to make sure that I'm not the last, and to
Absolutely.
create pathways for others um, who desire to elevate or ascend to these roles. And so it is my responsibility to reach back and help those who are definitely interested in going to college, but not only that, ascending to this role. I know that I don't plan to be in this role for the rest of my life. There will be a time where I will have to step down. And so it is not anytime soon, but it is my responsibility to make sure that we are preparing someone when that day comes to become the next president of Harris-Stowe. And so it's an amazing feeling to be able to do that. It is an amazing feeling to live and continue to work in the community in which I grew up in, and to become a role model for those who come behind me and even those who were with me. So, absolutely.
Excuse me, Dr. Collins. What
Sure.
are your future goals for HBCU?
I'm sorry, what did you say?
What are your future goals for HBCU?
Okay, my future goal, and I can speak for number one. My future goal for all HBCUs is I'm rooting for all HBCUs, and so my future goal is that we will receive equal funding, that we will also receive those things that we need to make sure that our facilities thrive and that our students thrive as well. Personally, for Harris-Stowe, um, what I would love to see is definitely us to grow. Um, we pride ourselves on being a small knit community, so we don't want to grow too big, but we also want to be able to move into the future. We're preparing students right now for to go into geospatial intelligence. We're also wanting to be able to prepare students for what's next when you look at AI and some of those different things. So that is some of the things that I'm interested in for the future of Harris-Stowe.
Okay. For you, Dr. Smith, what are some of the biggest challenges HBCUs face today?
I would say funding shortages. That would be the biggest challenge. And in this climate, I also would say, in this political climate, I would also say um, one of the challenges is having to justify the need for HBCUs and our existence and
Hmm.
what we do.
Okay.
Can I piggyback off of you, Dr. Collins?
Sure.
I definitely feel like HBCUs lack of exposure. A
Yeah.
lot of students don't know about HBCUs. I honestly did not know that there was another HBCU in Missouri aside from Lincoln University until I went on my HBCU college tour.
Yeah.
So lack of exposure, kids need to know from my community that there are colleges out there that are for you, all for you, all for your learning, all for your college experience. So definitely the lack of exposure is one of the biggest, one of the biggest, um, I'm trying to think, I'm sorry, I just lost my
Barriers. Yeah.
barriers when
Yeah.
it comes to HBCUs,
Yeah.
definitely lack of exposure.
And so I'm glad you mentioned that because that is exactly correct. When I moved into this role, I made a personal commitment to go out to high schools myself in order to share information about Harris-Stowe, to award scholarships to students, and to also let people know that there is another HBCU that is in the state of Missouri. And with that in
Hmm.
mind, this is a shameless plug, but I come to Kansas City every year and visit high schools in order to award scholarships. This year, the Presidential Dollars for Scholars Tour is coming to Kansas City the week of March 24th. So I will be in Kansas City March 24th through March 26th, visiting high schools and awarding scholarships to graduating seniors. But here's the thing, in order to receive a scholarship, you have to apply to Harris-Stowe. So you got to go visit our website, apply to Harris-Stowe. That way, I'll know that there are students who are interested. And when I come to your high school, I'm able to provide you with the scholarship that you qualify for. So, Central, since I'm here today on the phone with you, I'll make sure that I schedule some time. I'll have my team to reach out to your counselor to schedule some time so that I could come and visit Central High.
Yeah, definitely take advantage of this. Definitely take advantage of this experience, this opportunity. I'm telling y'all, from I've been in y'all shoes. I went to Central. I graduated from Central. I trust. Take advantage of every opportunity that is given to you. Please, please. I preach that all the time. Take advantage of all these opportunities.
Excuse me. I have a question for Miss Johnson and Miss Collins Smith.
Hmm.
Uh, in y'all's opinion, what were the most helpful things that got you through high school and to college?
For me, I would say, and I'm very transparent with all of my students, um, I was not the 4.0 student. Not. My GPA coming out of high school was a 2.75. And what made the difference for me, and it wasn't because I couldn't do what I needed to do, I just didn't really apply myself. Um, and I spent a lot of time being involved. I was a student leader. I went to Cleveland NJROTC, which is a military based high school here in St. Louis. Um, and I was a student leader, very involved. So that's what I'm going to encourage you to do. Take advantage of those different opportunities in high school.
Mm-hmm.
I went to college on three things. And let me back up. I was a 15 ACT. So let me explain something to you all. You are not a two-digit number. Your two-digit number on your exam, college entrance exam, does not define who you are. It didn't prevent me from excelling in two separate careers.
Mm-hmm.
So what I will say is this: I went to college on three things: prayer, a Pell Grant, and a $500 scholarship. That's how I got to the University of Central Missouri. And what I also share with high school students is, if you are a student who didn't do um, the best in high school, college gives you an opportunity to start over. Once you get an opportunity to go to college, the day you start and the day you really the day you graduate from high school is done.
Mm-hmm.
You're starting over. And so you
Over.
may not come into college with scholarships, but you have an opportunity to start over and gain scholarships once you get to college. We have so many students who have come to Harris-Stowe. They didn't do well. Many of them were in Ms. Johnson's graduating class because they didn't do good during COVID. You all know how COVID was, but they were given an opportunity to come to college. And that first year, they may have paid out of pocket, but the last 3 years, they didn't, because that first year, they made the best out of that first year. They started over, got good grades, applied for scholarships, and now they're sailing. So I would say apply yourself, get involved, apply for scholarships. Any
Mm-hmm.
scholarship that come your way, apply for it. You know, when my daughter was going to UMKC, she wanted to go to UMKC, and she was applying for all these scholarships. I learned that there's a scholarship for left-handed people. She's left-handed, so she received funds just for being left-handed. So apply, apply, apply. That's what I would say.
Okay, could you repeat the question for me again? I'm sorry, I was so lost in the trance.
The question was, what was the most helpful thing that helped you get through high school and in college?
So I had amazing. I'm gonna shout a lot of people out. I don't know if he's still there. I'm trying to think of his name. It's gonna come back. But I had a counselor who my mom was, sick and whatnot, and I was debating on whether I should go to Harris-Stowe, if I should stay and go to St. Louis Community. No, go to Kansas City MCC. Nothing wrong with going to MCC, but I was gonna stay in Kansas City and help my mom take care of my mom instead of going away to college. He told me, he said, no, you're going to college. If I have to pay for the application fee, you're going. And so in high school, I had counselors that saw my potential, that saw what I was capable of, that saw that I could go off to college and come back. And this is a way of me giving back to my community. This is a way of me talking to you all, putting speaking life into you, that this experience, it might not seem like it's for you. A lot of things might not seem like for you, but it's up to you to make it for you. And so that was what it was for me. In college, in high school, I worked two jobs. And I went to, I was in school. I did graduate with a 3.5 GPA, and I was able to obtain a scholarship with Harris-Stowe, and it was $2,000 each semester. That absolutely helped out a lot. Once I got to college, I was able to obtain scholarships while I was in college, which is another luxury. Like, while you're in college, you can earn more money for just being in college, for excelling, doing very well, going to class and making, good grades. And everybody won't be a 3.5, everybody won't be a 4.0, and that's okay. As long as you apply yourself and you do the work that you need to do, I promise you will be just fine. Another thing, when I graduated from Harris-Stowe, because I was so determined to graduate, a lot of people don't understand what it feels like coming from where you come from. How much you have to, every day you have to wake up and you have to choose yourself. And sometimes you have to choose between whether or not you want to stay for your family and take care of your family, and then you have to choose you. I say choose you. You have to take care of you in order to take care of your family. And I knew that if I pursued a higher education, that I could set myself up, and then I could come back and help my family. And then you can be an inspiration to your siblings. My little sister is 14 years old. She went to Central Middle School. She has seen her brother graduate college. She's seen her sister graduate college. So she knows that it's possible for her to do it, coming from the same household. So you don't know that you could be an inspiration to someone sitting next to you. I had a few, girls that I went to high school with that were younger than me, who would inbox me on Facebook once I graduated, telling me, I used to see you in school. I used to see how well you did. That really inspired me. But me, I'm just in high school. I'm just trying to make a living. I'm just trying to get to college. But I didn't realize how much of what I was doing impacted the kids around me. And so it's bigger than you. It's way bigger than you. It will always be bigger than you. You set the tone. I've set the tone for my sister, for my siblings, for my cousins. I set the tone for them. And sometimes you carry that weight of that responsibility, and it's okay. And so, navigating college, I worked two jobs while I was in college. I graduated with a 3.5 magna cum laude with honors. I did what I had to do to make sure that I could set myself up for a successful future. And I'm still going. I'm not stopping. I'm going all the way. So, you know, and it's like the more you do it, the more motivated you become. And you realize that it's not always about you. You got to be selfless, you got to have humility, you got to have grit and grind. It's going to be hard, but anything that's easy ain't worth having. So, I'm that's what I got to say about that.
I like those answers.
We have 2 minutes left, so this is like the last question for both of you. Um, can you share a success story that highlights the impact of your HBCU on a student's life?
I think of two things. This morning when I woke up, I was thinking about what am I most proud of. There's so many things I'm proud of in these last 3 years, but two things came to mind. One, and you all in your free time can actually Google this. Um, I'm piggybacking on what Ms. Johnson mentioned about having that humility, grit, and grind. We had an eighth grade graduation here at Harris-Stowe 2 years ago, and a young man walked a significant amount of miles to get here for his eighth grade graduation. And it was just something about him on that day that motivated me to give him a scholarship that day to come to Harris-Stowe as an eighth grader. And unbeknownst to me, that was like a door opening for not only him, but like Miss Johnson said, for his whole family, for his five other siblings, for his grandfather. Um, and it made international news. And so people recognize me now because I gave an eighth grader a scholarship, and it really spread the word about Harris-Stowe, and it helped other people to know about, gave exposure, what Miss Johnson said, to Harris-Stowe. And then On last night, I received a text message from one of our graduates who graduated in 2021, and I met her at her other school. She went to a different HBCU, and I was there visiting, and I met her, and she wanted to come back to St. Louis and come back home. And I assisted her with doing that, and she wound up coming to Harris-Stowe, and she made a commitment that she was gonna graduate, and she was gonna graduate as the class number one in her class. She was going to law school, and she did all of that. But last night she sent me a text message inviting me to her law school graduation in May. And she came from East St. Louis, Illinois. And, those are the things that motivate me and that I'm so proud of. I'm proud of Miss Johnson and just her grit and her grind. Those are the things that motivate me every day to do this work, making sure that our students are taken care of and that they go on and that they're prosperous and they're doing exactly what she's doing this morning, paying it forward and giving it back. So thank you so much.
Okay. That's it. We seem to be out of time right now, so I want to thank everybody for joining us on this podcast today, and I hope I see you again sometime.
Okay,
Thank you.
Central High School. I'll see y'all in a couple of weeks.
Thank you. We enjoyed the interview.
We enjoyed the
Of
interview.
course. Of course.
Thank you.